Hey guys, and welcome to the June 2019 Creativity Tarot readings. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Kayleigh Jean. If you're new to my channel, you are welcome to use these readings for your sun, moon, or your rising signs. So go ahead and check all of them if one of them doesn't resonate. And I just wanted to say to you, thank you so much to everyone who has been supporting my channel. This month, our Inner Workings topic is all about self-love. So if you're somebody who enjoys my channel and you get something beneficial from these readings and you want to support the work that I'm doing here, I am so grateful to you. And you have a couple of options on how to do that. So the Inner Workings topic is going to be posted on Vimeo, and it's going to be posted on the normal donations page. So if you prefer to donate to support my channel through my website, that option is revamped this time. I'm bringing it back. I was just exploring things last month. So you can donate to support this channel if you get something out of these readings and you want to say thank you. And just as an additional gift to you, I create the Inner Workings topic for each month, which is just a place for us to hang out and talk about spiritual topics. And I love hearing from you guys. And this month I am covering self-love, because it's such a buzzword and it's such a big topic, but I wanted to kind of take it deeper, and I wanted to share more intimately about my personal beliefs and my own personal thoughts on the concept of self-love, what it means, and how I measure it in my own life. And I'm also offering a tarot spread to help you connect to your own relationship with yourself. So that's going to be included in the Inner Workings topic. So I hope that if you're interested in supporting my channel, you will check that out. And I also wanted to say that I am going to continue creating the Vimeo extended readings. Have been a really great way for me to go deeper with the general monthly spreads that I do for you every single month. It's just a way for you to watch the deepening of the energies, especially if you feel that the reading is resonating to you. Then watching the extension is probably going to be even more connected to your energy, because these are just general readings, so they're not guaranteed to resonate with everyone every single month. Okay guys, those are my announcements. I will see you in the readings. Okay, Scorpio, let's go ahead and get into your June tarot reading. As I was tuning into your energy, I was given two separate impressions. The first one was very interesting. It felt very Neptunian to me. So depending on what else you have going on in your chart, Scorpio, perhaps you're receiving an aspect from Neptune, like a trine aspect, to your sun, moon, or ascendant, or whatever placements you may have in Scorpio. But there's some kind of Neptunian energy coming in for you this month, and this can be really powerful, and it can be very pleasurable as well, as long as you sort of keep your wits about you and don't completely get sucked into anything that may prove in the long run to be just a fantasy or an illusion. But I'm feeling this mostly as being something that you're welcoming, because it's like you're getting into like a dreamy creative state this month in June. And I feel that for some of you, you could actually be feeling like life is somehow sweeping you off your feet. And maybe that's a romance thing, or maybe it's a creative inspiration that just once it takes hold, you just pursue it doggedly and you do a lot of creative work in a very passionate state of mind, and you feel like you're almost channeling the energy, or you're passionately interested in something and you just find that you're picking up so much as you learn more about it. You're just really in the flow of, again, that inspiration to learn. So there's a powerful Neptunian influence for you this month in regards to your passions. This could also extend to sensuality and relationships as well. So there's this powerful creative energy that I'm feeling coming in for you, Scorpio, which I think as long as, again, you are sticking to your parameters of boundaries and you are being clear about what you want and you are pursuing things and allowing yourself to pursue things with a sense of self-preservation as well, I think that you're mostly going to experience this energy as very positive and very pleasurable for you. The other message that I got was I just saw someone in a dark room and then they turned towards like a little point of light and they started moving towards that light and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger until they walked into it. And this gave me the impression that your personal willpower and your personal focus is going to be really important, especially for those of you Scorpios who are experiencing anything that is like a darker theme, like what you would call maybe lack of clarity, because in the dark, obviously, you can't see. So if you've been feeling like you've been struggling with seeing things clearly, you might literally have to just through the power of your force of will, like through sheer willpower, you may have to delve and create that clarity for yourself. You might find that the normal strategies that you go to gain clarity and purpose don't work for you as well. So you maybe can't rely on other people like a friend or a therapist or a reader. They might not have the advice you're looking for this month. If you turn to, for example, like your pendulum, if you work with your pendulum, or if you work with astrology, or if you work with tarot normally to get your answers, you might find that things are just, you're needing to gain more clarity than what the normal go-to strategies can give you, and it's going to come from within. Scorpio is going to come from within you, and that's really where your power is this month. So in just aiming yourself and focusing your energy in the direction of the light, in the direction of what you most desire and what makes you feel the most clear, that's really going to be where the gold is for you this month. And this month can have a lot of gold for you. I feel that this can be a very fruitful month for Scorpios, but it's going to take some determination on your part. And you also may get some help from that Neptunian energy. You might get some Neptunian influences coming in and making you feel very creative and inspired. And you're going to have to use that in whatever way you see fit. So let's take a look at your cards to get some more insights. My Scorpios, what is going on for my beautiful Scorpios? Okay, so we're going to take a look here. Okay, and we're also going to get some messages from your Animal Spirit Oracle cards. So pay attention to where you see these creatures or their likeness as you go through the month, as they will be delivering more messages for you as you go through. Scorpio, 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 Scorpio. Let's closer up here. Oh, this one. Okay. So let's take a look at your animal spirit guides for the month. We have starfish, wow, and lion. Okay, as the influence. Scorpio, I have to say something is coming through right away that I want to talk to you about. So I'm going to turn the camera up here. Something came through very spontaneously and quickly about the starfish. So with starfish as your path, Scorpio, there's something going on this month where I feel like you are kind of, you're being pursued. That's what I'm getting. And this might be like something that you're welcoming, like if it's in a romantic scenario, maybe you're a single Scorpio and you are getting attention kind of bestowed on you by somebody who makes you feel very desired, then this is going to be positive. But for some of you, I feel the starfish energy. There's almost like a delicateness about this card, and there's almost like this impression that I'm getting that you may want to be careful who you let in, because somebody could come into your life this month in June and be like love bombing you to the max. Just, oh my gosh, Scorpio, you're so amazing. The work you do in the world is so incredible. I'm so proud of you. You're just fantastic, blah, 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 blah. They might be kind of laying on the charm a little thick, and this could be part of that Neptunian influence that I was picking up during the meditation. Where there's potentially fantasy, and it could be somebody fantasizing about you. I didn't necessarily think about it like that, but somebody could be fantasizing about you or idealizing you, and maybe kind of preparing you for something that they want, like a situation that they want to create with you. And if you're not open to that, like let's say if you are a creative business person, for example, and you work alone and that is what works for you, you might have somebody approaching you saying, I want to network with you, I want to work with you, I want to hire you for this project, but I'm going to want a percentage of your business, or I'm going to need you to sign this like very in-depth contract. You might want to run for the hills when the conversation starts going in that direction. And I know it is very hard to fool a Scorpio, so I'm not worried about you guys at all. But I do feel like there's something here with the starfish where you are this kind of creature that is being looked at by other people. Like that's the energy that I get from this card, is like someone's looking at you and they're thinking about what they want. So that's really the key point, is like when somebody's approaching you and love bombing you, or approaching you and professing something to you, be really clear on like what their motivation really is. And I would say, as long as the situation isn't getting too serious for you and the person is respecting your boundaries that you put into place, well then maybe, this message isn't for you. Maybe like the caution that you exhibit right now will just show the person that's trying to interact with you or trying to work with you that they need to respect you, and that you like the type of person that you are. And that you're not easily going to be swayed. Maybe that's all that the situation needs, and they genuinely have good intentions. But either way, you want to just be careful, because with the starfish, this is a very delicate creature. This is a creature that doesn't do well in toxic environments. So if you have like a toxic energy in your life, or if you have somebody in your life who is has a little bit like nefarious intentions, or once you get closer, once you get closer, like the perfume doesn't smell as good, then you want to just make sure that you are getting the space that you need and taking things slow, and maybe backing off of anything that doesn't quite feel right to you when you tune into it on a more deep level. The Lion is the card that's influencing you, which also, honestly, Scorpio, gave me the feeling that there's the chase involved, because the Lion is a predatory creature. So as an influence card, it can show that there's somebody who wants something from you, who's trying to interact with you in some way. So again, be mindful of that. But as an influence card for you specifically, Scorpio, the Lion is a very powerful totem for you this month. I feel like you're firing on all cylinders. Honestly, I feel like with the Lion card and the starfish, like whatever goals that you have when it comes to your creativity, your self-expression, your career, your professional life, this is an amazing time for you to kind of carry yourself with pride and carry yourself with confidence, because you're doing amazing work, Scorpio. You are killing it when it comes to sharing your gifts with the world, sharing your skill sets, anything having to do with public speaking, anything having to do with communications. You're on it, and I feel like you are just showing a lot of your strength when it comes to your communication this month. So it's a really great time to just put your best foot forward, put your work out there, be confident. If somebody asks you about like one of your projects, for example, or if someone just wants to reach out to you about a potential opportunity, be comfortable negotiating on your own behalf, because the lion is a creature that goes for the lion's share, and you deserve it. If you are the person that's being approached, you deserve to ask for what you would really need in order to compensate for your time. And the truth is, you have your own purpose, like you have your own causes that you want to contribute to, and you have your own subjects that you want to raise awareness with. For example, with diet or nutrition, maybe you have a message that you want to get out there, or maybe you have some kind of passion that is fueling your work that has to do with a greater good, or a contribution to a topic, or a contribution to an industry, or shedding light on what's actually going on within an industry, which is such a scorpionic thing to want to do. You have to like protect your mission, Scorpio. So if you are being reimbursed fairly, and if you are being taken care of when it comes to your negotiations, contracts, agreements, and payments, then you're going to have more energy to expend, and you're going to have more bandwidth to put towards the mission that is like ringing true in your heart. So when you negotiate on your own behalf, you're not just negotiating for yourself, you're negotiating for everybody behind you who doesn't have a voice. So keep that in mind, and maybe push yourself to ask for more. Make really good deals for yourself is kind of what I'm getting from this. So be strong. Know that you are going to probably have more momentum going on for you this month. So when it comes to social environments and relationships that you have, I want you to be really choosy about who you have in your environment, because you are going to be more porous and more sensitive to energy. And so it just makes sense. You don't want to have toxic people around you who are bringing you down, or like kind of burning you out when you're already dealing with so much kind of fiery energy on the home front. So let's go ahead and take a look at your cards. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, the Page of Cups, the Nine of Cups, the Page of Swords, the King of Swords, Three of Pentacles, the Star, and the Sun. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm just tuning in here. Okay, Scorpio, so one thing that I am seeing is that as you go into the month of June, the first card is the Wheel of Fortune. So this tells us that the energy around you is very mutable, it's changing. The Wheel of Fortune is a card of destiny and cycles and things that we don't necessarily have control over, but which come into our life and sort of change the environment that we're surrounded by. So when I'm seeing this next to the Page of Cups, what I kind of heard was like you changing directions perhaps, in especially when it comes to like areas of love, for example, because we have the Page of Cups, but also in terms of your creative inspiration for whatever you're doing. There's a sense of almost feeling dizzy as something is reoriented within you. So let's say, for example, you are a Scorpio who is a painter, or you primarily do a lot of visual art. Maybe there's this totally random change of events, or like a turn of events where all of a sudden you find yourself doing music. You know, and you're like, wait, like I'm not good at music. I don't know how to do any, I'm super off key. I just don't feel comfortable. there's some kind of element of that where it's like you think you're doing one thing, but then through some kind of change of events, or someone asks you to do something, or you find yourself in an environment, and it may not be that you're going to do that for your career or anything like that, but it's like you're participating in something that's artistic or that's creative that you don't normally do. And so you're just kind of trying to proceed with an open mind and an open heart, and to just enjoy the process. I also feel that on some level, fate could be bringing in people who are younger than you into your life, because the Wheel of Fortune represents fate and the pages are young people. I think that if you are kind of drawing in young people into your life, Scorpio, and they could be just like a couple years younger than you, or they might be your same age, but they just have less experience than you. You are somehow offering some kind of either help, or you're being a leader in some way to these people, and they may be asking for advice and that type of thing. I think most of them are going to be really awesome. I think most of them, like let's say for you, Scorpio, that they are students of yours, or they're interns, or there's somebody like a group of people that you are leading in some way, shape, or form. Most of them are going to be totally honest, totally forthcoming, super sweet, engaging, that kind of energy. This could also be the energy of a child entering into your life through a connection with another person. Maybe you're dating someone with a child, or multiple children, something like that. I see like this energy of like an influx of people who are younger than you or who want your advice, and the majority of them are just amazing. Like with the Nine of Cups, you just have an amazing relationship with them. You feel fulfilled by being able to share your expertise or share your wisdom or just have fun with them. With the Nine of Cups, it is about whatever you value in the relationship, whatever you want to do. If you just want to have fun and be playful, then that's what you are going to be getting from that relationship. And if it's about you passing down your techniques and technologies and your wisdom, there's a sense of engagement and excitement and enthusiasm around the information that you all are collectively sharing. So it just looks like there's some young people who are enthusiastic, who are coming into your life. Some of them you might like feel, because this Page of Swords is coming up, there could be like an air sign person, maybe a young at heart person, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, or perhaps just having like a moon sign in one of those signs, or an ascendant, which you may not always know if you don't see their chart. But there's an airy kind of younger person who presents, when I saw this, I don't normally feel uneasy with the Page of Swords, but sometimes like I see this card as somebody who asks a lot of questions and who's genuinely interested. So that could be a factor. But for some reason, when I looked at this, I felt a little bit of foreboding. Like maybe like I said, the majority of the people that you're interacting with are just lovely, but there's somebody who maybe they don't have negative intentions, but they're kind of challenging you in some way. Like they're second guessing you, for example, or like they ask a question and you answer, and then they just ask it in another way that's a little bit more rude, or they are kind of demanding of you in some way that maybe you're not totally comfortable with. I don't know why I'm feeling this from the Page of Swords, because I don't necessarily feel this, but sometimes, I don't know, I'm looking at his fingers, and on this deck, they kind of made it look a little bit scaly, which I think is really weird. And there's just something off-putting about this card to me right now. So I know that this isn't a big deal for you, Scorpio. I know that this is not something that you're going to be irritated about in a month or two, but I do think that in the middle of June, it's possible that you're going to be a little bit rubbed the wrong way by somebody who's either second-guessing you, or who's kind of asking pointed questions that could be interpreted in like a more of a negative way. And what I want to say for you, Scorpio, is one of the best ways that you can sort of diffuse situations like this is to assume the most positive intent possible. Even if it seems really clear that the person is trying to be rude, or they're trying to instigate some sort of drama, or they're trying to be they're trying to undermine you. That can sometimes be the feeling with this type of energy that I'm picking up. assume that this person has really good intentions and proceed with that in your mind. Like, proceed, especially if it's in a situation that's social. Like, if someone is making little jabs at you and there's other people around, the other people are not as sensitive to like this kind of subtle rudeness. And as a Scorpio, you've probably experienced this before. I definitely can relate to this. Not like as much personally, but I've definitely seen things where I can tell that an individual is trying to undermine someone else. For example, if I'm in a group situation, I can tell when one person kind of is harboring a little bit of either resentment, or they have some sort of reason that they want to undermine the speaker in the situation, and so they kind of ask questions that maybe, yes, they are ambiguous, maybe they can come off neutral, but I can feel that there's some sort of slight animosity underneath it. Scorpios are really sensitive to this kind of stuff because you just pick up on all these like little subtle details. So you can tell when somebody's absolutely just innocent in terms of their questioning or in terms of their thought process. You know, like, because you're in your heart, you can feel it. Like in your heart chakra, you're like, okay, yeah, that person does not mean any offense by what they're saying. Like, maybe they're a little bit uninformed, and maybe they're, maybe they don't have the ability to articulate like a more appropriate way to ask that question, but you can just tell they're not trying to undermine anyone, or they're not trying to be offensive. And that's just something that you can just tell. You can read people really well. But when somebody is kind of trying to take subtle jabs, sometimes you can feel really alone in those kinds of social situations, because you're picking up on things that are going on under the surface that maybe other people are just kind of chatting and hanging out and they're not picking up on it. So I think you can feel a little bit alone. There's a potential to feel a little bit alone if you're picking up some kind of animosity, some kind of sheathed animosity from another person in your environment, and other people aren't seeing it. The message for you, Scorpio, is that this is not a big deal. And I know it's frustrating for you if you are a Scorpio who experiences this kind of negative, undermining behavior. It may not be the right time in the middle of the month. It may not be the right time to actually tackle that head on, because you could unintentionally create more resistance and animosity in the situation. So the message is to just let this roll off your back. If it continues, you can always address it later. You don't have to fix everything right this hot minute, Scorpio. So that's what I want to communicate to you is, I know that you are like boiling inside, and it may not even be like that somebody's undermining you. It might be that someone's undermining another person, and maybe the other person that you feel is kind of bearing the brunt of this attack, maybe they don't even know what's going on, but you're still feeling protective of them. Whatever it is, I just want to say, if it continues, you can address it once there's more proof. But I feel like the general perception with the Nine of Cups is that everything is fine. So you don't want to rock the boat over such small things until it's clear to everyone, and until you won't have to like explain yourself so much to get people to see what you're talking about. I know it's hard because you are so shrewd and you can spot a snake a mile away. And I love snakes. I'm not saying that snakes are a bad symbol or anything, but just speaking metaphorically, like you can spot somebody who has negative intentions way before they make those negative intentions overtly clear to everyone else. So just bide your time. You're really good at that. And this is going to pass. So let's take a look at the rest of your month. The Three of Pentacles and the King of Swords is coming up in the third week of June. This is a very take charge period of the month for you in the third week of June. I see you kind of building something. This could be something physical, as in the Three of Pentacles, the person's building something on his wall or in the doorway. He's kind of working on the ornate detailing of the doorway. So there could be something physical that you're building. For example, if you're working on a project in your garden, you could be doing something along those lines. It could also be in your business or your professional job, your career. There's some kind of sense of using teamwork and building something that didn't exist before. So this is an exciting time. The King of Swords is saying to be very clear on the details of things, and I feel that this is more coming in as advice for you. I'm not really seeing the King of Swords as an individual separate from you, although for some of you, you could be dealing with someone like this. More than that, I'm seeing this as like an invitation for you to be very integral, and I don't just mean integrity in the moral sense. I mean integrity as in the sense when people talk about a house, for example, that has integrity, like it means that the angles are true, like the angles and the nuts and bolts and everything is held together in integrity. And so there's a sense of building things on a good foundation. So being very clear about what you're doing, following some kind of a formula is really helpful. When we see the Three of Pentacles coming up with the King of Swords, I don't really think that this is time to reinvent the wheel. I do think that you're building something new for yourself, but there's no reason that you can't follow some kind of formula or some kind of plan in order to create that. Because truthfully, as long as the core elements are there, just like a story, for example, if you're writing a book, there is an inherent structure that a story has to fit into if it's going to ring true to us. For the most part, there are some key essential elements that if they are not present, a story just isn't really going to speak to us in terms of our psyche, and our subconscious mind won't really react to a narrative that doesn't fit those kind of most basic factors. So this is sort of the same thing with any creative project, is follow a formula, but then breach that formula as needed and make it your own, and really fill it in and flesh it out with the unique things that you are bringing to the table. But make sure that the core elements are there, because that's what's going to really ensure success for you, Scorpio. Now we have the Sun and the Star at the end of the month, so this is really beautiful. I'm seeing you really shining at the end of the month, Scorpio. So some of you, I'm getting the impression that if you are, for example, working on your body, Scorpio, if you are doing some kind of yoga challenge, or if you start a new exercise regimen, especially if you've already started one in May, or if you're going into June with the expectation of yourself that you're going to do X amount of workouts and you're going to monitor your calories and all of that, I feel like you're going to be really happy with the transformation that you see in your body. And I know that 4 weeks is a short period of time, but looking at the Star card and the Sun, I feel like you can make a lot of progress in a short period of time with your physique and with your physical health too, because it's not just about how you look, it's also about how you feel. And do you feel sexy? Do you feel like vivacious? Do you feel that you are living at, or at least moving towards your highest physical potential, as well as spiritual, mental, and emotional potential? That's really what we're seeing in these cards, is something like hard work paying off, especially when it comes to your health. If you are working very hard on your health, make sure that you are drinking enough water. With the Star card, we see the emphasis on water. We see the emphasis on being embodied and being in your physical body, and that being a very important thing for you. And we also see the Sun. So it's important also to get outside and enjoy the weather if you have nice weather where you are. And it's important to, just feel comfortable in your own skin when you go outside. Like maybe at the end of the month, you're going to go to the beach and be in your bathing suit, and you're going to feel great because you're going to be like, you know what? I've been working really hard on myself, and I know I look good and I feel good, and I'm doing what I want to be doing. I'm living my best life. So it looks good. But again, you're going to have to do the work for this. So the Star is also about long-term results. So you're not done with your physical work on yourself, obviously, at the end of the month, but you are really happy with the results. And I just feel like a lot of optimism from these two cards. So the end of the month looks very optimistic. It looks like also potentially a very spiritual time for you, Scorpio, where you could be really just enjoying the fruits of your labors and trusting yourself in a bigger way. So I'm going to go ahead and get you your clarity cards for the extension reading. Okay. So for the extension readings, I'm really just getting more insight into the energies at play, and then we're also getting the outcome of each week. And we're also going to be looking at the bottom of the deck, which for you is the Magician. And I'm also going to be getting you guys your Soul Trees Oracle card. I'm feeling this top one. And we're also going to get you a beautiful card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And right now I'm also going to pull you guys a Bob Ross playing card. I absolutely love this deck. I think it's super sweet and extremely accurate. Whenever I draw from this deck for any creative person, I feel like it's so accurate and so sweet. So for Scorpios, what is the message from Bob Ross for Scorpios? Oh, wow. Oh, I love it. He says, didn't you know you had this much power? You can move mountains. You can do anything. Didn't you know you had this much power? You can move mountains. You can do anything. That is so perfect for Scorpios, too. I feel like that is just spot on for Scorpios in general. So remember your power this month. Wow, we've got the Page of Cups coming up again with the Three of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords, Star again, Tower, and Ten of Cups. We've got the Five of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles and the Temperance card. We've got the Eight of Pentacles and Strength. And then I'm also going to get you some insight into the energies between you and a significant person in your life. So we're using the central cross of the Celtic cross, and we're going to get some insights into the energies of this relationship. Oh, dang it. I think I lost the Magician card, but now we have the High Priestess. I shuffled again. So you have the Magician and the High Priestess, 1 and 2, as the bottom of your deck, which is fun. So we've got 2 pages in your energy, Scorpio, and the other person's energy, we have the Hermit and the Hierophant. And the energy between you is the Sun. Again, so beautiful. I love the repeating cards that you got between your extension reading and your main portion of the YouTube reading. So I'm excited to get into the rest of this reading for you, Scorpio. Remember that the extension readings are just a way for me to continue giving back to those of you who support my channel and help me to do these readings every month, which do take a lot of time and energy. So if you want to support me and you feel like you get something beneficial from the readings, I just want to even give more back to you because I appreciate you that much more, that you feel inspired to support this channel and that you get something useful. Like, it just warms my heart. So if you're interested, I'll put the link for the Vimeo reading below. I'm sending you so much love, Scorpio. I hope you have an amazing rest of your month in June. Please take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.